If you want a long-term profitable digital products business, you cannot just sell products for $5 here, $24 here. You have to have these four very important things, and they're called order bumps, upsells, downsells, and cross sells. So these are additional products that your customers purchase after they've agreed or decided to buy the initial product. Most marketing pros, most digital product pros have probably never even mentioned this to you before. You might never have even heard of any of these before. And so in the digital products world, it's very unusual to hear of anything about order bumps, anything about upsells, anything about downsells, anything about cross sells. This is advanced stuff. And the reason most pros don't teach this is two reasons. One, it's a little complicated. So it's a little tricky to teach and to teach well. So bear with me. I'm going to do a really good job teaching you everything that you need to know, but it's a more advanced topic. So even if they do know it, they might not know how to teach it well. That's the first reason. The second reason is that they benefit by you not knowing about things like order bumps, upsells, cross sells, downsells. They benefit by you not knowing it. I am not benefiting. I'm the opposite of I'm not benefiting. I'm losing by teaching you this, by sharing this information with you. It would be better if less people knew this because, in my honest opinion, this is a huge part in how you have a profitable, low ticket digital product business. And so not only is it hard to teach and hard to teach well, but there's also no incentive to teach it. And to be honest with you, the only reason why I'm teaching all of this is because I have committed to creating the resources that I wish I knew about when I was just getting started. In my first year of business, when I only made $63, you better believe I had no idea what an order bump was. I had no idea what an upsell, all of that. $12 million later, I know that most of my profit has come from order bumps, upsells, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know because I'm honoring my commitment to showing up and teaching you exactly what you need to know to have a very successful digital product business. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to teach you about these two. So the first ones, I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know about order bumps and everything that you need to know about upsells. Those are the ones that I'm going to teach you. If you want to dive deeper, which I recommend you do, I recommend you grab a free copy of my book, How I Made, this is a little like, I published it a month ago and I've hit 12 million now, but How I Made $11 million selling digital products. It's really the complete guide to an automated business. I'll send you a copy of this for free. Drop my pen, hold on. We're losing things left and right over here. I'll send you a copy for free. It's just really helpful. There's a lot of stuff in there for you to know. In this YouTube video, we're going to be doing like what I consider to be like the tip of the iceberg, or just what I can fit into one video, which is just the order bumps, just the upsells. But that book that I'll send you a free copy of, the link's just in the description. It dives deep into everything that you need, literally this deep into everything that you need to know. And I highly, highly, highly recommend you let me send you a free copy. My gift to you. Let me pick up my pen really quick. Hang on. There we go. I dropped my little iPad pen. Okay, so the other thing that I'm going to do that I think is really important is I'm going to give you a real life example and show you how I took a customer from $24 to around $400. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. And we're actually going to do this first, just so that you can visualize what we're talking about here. So I go all the way up to the top. Okay, so this is an example of order bumps and upsells in action. So I'm going to break down all of these little products for you so you understand what's happening here, because you can kind of see generally what happened here. There was a $24 order, and then they added all these additional things to their cart, which brought the order total to $403. So if you can just like look at this, you can kind of visually understand what happened here. They bought the first product, and then they added all of these other things. I want to teach you this process. This is what I want you to know in this video, is how to do this so that you're not having $5 orders here, $24 orders here, like little orders. You're regularly having multiple hundreds of dollars orders, because that is how you really, really scale a low ticket business. So the first one is the actual product. So $24, that's the actual product. This second one here is what's called an order bump. So an order bump happens before the person checks out. So it literally bumps the order total up. That's why it's called an order bump. So the order bump is different than the upsell because they're bumping the order before they've checked out. They're adding something to their initial order. I'm going to show you an actual example in a second here. Then we have all of these are upsells. So everything done for you, content pack, millionaire dashboard, all of these are called upsells. And these happen after the product is ordered. So we're going to do like a little, like I'll show you what this kind of looks like. Because this is, upsells happen after they've checked out. So this one and this one happen before they check out. And then the rest happen after they check out, okay? So let me show you an example here on an actual checkout page. I think that's going to be really helpful. Okay, so let me show you an actual checkout page here. So this is a very popular course. This is one of my primary digital products. We've made millions of dollars with this product. It's just 24 courses for $24. And then if you scroll down, so this is the main product, it's $24. Then you can see here we have this order bump. I don't know why it's not loading this image. It's just weird. It normally loads. Just ignore it. This is the order bump. I wish it was working. Of all the days, I wish it was working today because I'm literally showing you the order bump. But say la vie, that's how it goes. So then we add this to order. And now do you see here that they haven't placed the order yet? So this is the order bump because it's literally bumping the order total from $24 to $71 in this particular instance. So this is an order bump. Now this is very different. So we're going to pretend that I placed my order here because I'm going to pull up the other page that happens next. So this is what happens next. After I were to place the order, they would get taken to what's called an upsell sales page. So it looks like the checkout progress is about 20%. So it would be like all the upsells. If you remember that full stack that we looked at, after they get seen every upsell page, then the order is like 100% completed. And this particular product is called the Everything Done For You Content Pack. And it's just a sales page. It's a sales page for this. And then they can add it to their order. And that would add an additional $47 onto their order. And so I'll just click no thanks. I don't need this right now. So you can see an example of another one. And this, by the way, is an example of this is another upsell. So we said no thank you. And then you get pitched another one. And then it kind of goes like on and on. But you can see here how it went from 20% to 40%. That's the upsell funnel. Now, I want to give you, so essentially, like really simply, that is how you go from a $24 order to a $400 order. Now, I want to give you the actual numbers, the actual data on what to expect conversion rate wise. So what percentage of people who go through your checkout process should do what? So we have, every month we add 3,000 new customers. We do literally thousands of sales. And the order bump conversion rate is 50%. So let me just add my iPad really quick back on here. So this one here, order bumps, 50% to 60% conversion rate. Expect that for your order bump, which means half the people checking out should be buying your order bump. And then your upsells, 10 to 15%. This is how we have increased our average order value from $24 to $180. What that means is every single person on average, now some people do a lot more, some people do less, but the average of every new customer or of every customer, like every order that someone buys from us is $180. So people don't understand this. They're like, how have you sold millions? So they've sold $12 million worth of products. How have you sold $12 million worth of products if you're only charging $24? And when you're thinking about it that way, it would seem tricky to only be selling a $24 product. But this is why it's so important that you show the full picture, because it becomes the math starts to make a lot more sense when you're realizing that many of my customers are giving me $400. And all of my students who are in my different coaching programs, we teach them to do upsells because that, and order bumps and cross sells and all of that, because that is what adds the profit. That is what takes a $24 customer and turns them into a $400 customer. If you want to dive deeper into all of this, again, I highly, highly, highly recommend. Let me just like show you a little sneak peek of this book. Because if you're watching a video like this, I mean, we have my like flop to viral scale. If you're watching a video like this, what that tells me, I also have a ton of stuff, by the way, on automations in this book, which I recommend you grab because that's also very cool to do this stuff on autopilot. Some things that you need to know, like about volume and margins and stuff, which is just good to know. Like, it's a great book. I highly recommend you grab a copy of it. If you're watching a video like this, that tells me that you're very committed to the process of having a successful digital product business, and just sitting down and like reading this book, I think is going to be really helpful to you. So just get that down in the description, and that's where I'll see you.